the way it is going, the way people are leaving the Congress, uh, I think the day is not far when the only entity left with Rahul Gandhi or beside or adjacent to Rahul Gandhi would be his pet Pidi. और वो भी उसका भी सर्टेन नहीं है बिकॉज सुधांशु जी का घर तुगलक लेन में साथ में पता चला वो पिडी को थोड़े बिस्कुट का वो दिया और वो झाड़ी कूद के सुधांशु जी के पास आ गया मतलब पिडी भी नहीं रहेगा कांग्रेस में तो इसका ध्यान राहुल गांधी को रखना है कि G20 करते आ रहे हैं इनका ये G23 का गैंग था अभी उनमें से सारे चले गए and everyone is opening this Pandora's box. The latest one being Mr. Azad. I mean, these are really scandalous allegations that have to be answered, not by the male au pairs, as I call them, of Rahul Gandhi, and there are a couple of them, but by Rahul Gandhi himself. What is this businessman and the business deal that Mr. Azad is talking of that Rahul Gandhi indulged in when he went abroad? This is a serious matter. Remember, it's been more than a decade and we still do not know the details of the MOU that Rahul Gandhi signed or the Congress signed with the Chinese Communist Party. Those details are not there in public. So, let us be very honest here. There are two issues now remaining. The third one I've already talked of, which is that slowly this so-called Mahagathbandhan or the opposition is disintegrating. And as for the Congress, it has to wake up to reality, Navika. The opposition to the BJP behemoth would be actually led by Trinamool Congress. Let's be very honest about it.
Well, they also lost their they also lost their national tag today. The Trinamool Congress and the NCP are no longer national. It's Aam Aadmi Party, which is a national opposition party.
Yes, but the thing is, Congress doesn't want to wake up. National or regional doesn't matter as long as you actually sequester enough MP or, enough Lok Sabha seats. So the problem with Congress is, if I can use a metaphor, it is like that car that met with a crash in 2014. The chassis was crumpled, the seats got torn off, the roof was crushed, the engine got blown off, the tires burst, but miraculously, one tire got detached and rolled off away from the crash site, rolled off and bounced and jounced along the road. That is what the Congress is. A lone, weather-beaten wheel that is still rolling along. It is miles away from the crash site, but expects the destroyed car to somehow magically assemble itself to its pristine glory and come hurtling down and meet with the lone wheel. Well, that's not going to happen. What can happen is that an Innova driven by Didi will come along and the wheel can do is to become Innova stepney. Is Congress prepared for that? Is Rahul Gandhi prepared to be a stepney?
Well, Dr. Sanjay Jha, the question is straightforward to you. 3 tenets of Rahul Gandhi's attack, all punctured, not by anybody else, but the Maha Vikas Aghadi mentor and senior politician, Mr. Sharad Pawar. And now you have a question that's staring you in the eye. Who are these undesirable businessmen who Rahul Gandhi used to meet when he used to travel abroad? Why did he always want to duck his SPG? Because he was meeting these people? These are questions that people today are asking. And not just that, as a party that brought the Right to Information Act, don't you think you should make the MOU with China absolutely public? 2008 की बात है हुजूर, अब तो 2023 हो गई. बता दीजिए, what is there in that MOU?
Navika, I'll try and answer you in brief. Point number one, Mr. Sharad Pawar's comment on the Hindenburg research or his views on Gautam Adani's problems are his own. And I don't think the Congress party is at all obliged to kind of adhere to whatever he said. And to be honest with you, I was astonished, and I need to say this very publicly, that I think Mr. Pawar has clearly not fathomed the enormity of the shenanigans that have been committed. Let us wait for the Supreme Court committee. Let us hopefully wait for the JPC to pass a verdict on it. But I think it was rather presumptuous on his part to believe that just because he gave an interview to a TV channel which is owned by Gautam Adani, that becomes a holy grail. Point number two, as far as Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad's comment on Rahul Gandhi's meeting or proximity with businessmen during his travel abroad is concerned, I'll again be very upfront with you. Ghulam Nabi ji has been very good to me and I have enormous respect for him. But I disagree with this whole approach of even veteran Congress people like him. And I repeat it once again, I'll probably even talk to him after this program is over. But I do not appreciate, rubbishing people in a manner which almost amounts to slander. I would say that if there are businessmen who are of a very
You've seen
dubious
Rahul Gandhi's
character,
tweet on
name
Adani.
them. If there is any insinuation being made that Rahul Gandhi's relationship with these people abroad tantamounts to some kind of a support of financial embezzlement or a threat to national security, name them. But these kind of very cryptic, at the same time very defamatory language, I don't think it does Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad's stature any justice. And I repeat once again, I'm enormously fond of the man. I'm also distressed that the situation has become so irreconcilable. Your third point, I think, that you asked me about was the Congress people leaving the Congress party and where does it leave the future of the Grand Old Party. I will agree with you, Navika, that the problem is formidable, but the Congress seems to be at this point, despite all these recent I would say headwinds, on a slow path to recovery. The Bharat Jodo Yatra has been
slow path to
convincing
recovery,
success. And
like
for
really,
Navika.
Sachin
Sanjay
Pilot
Jha was
versus
saying-
Ashok Gehlot playing out in the open, Siddaramaiah versus DK Shivkumar playing out in the open, and Mr. Bhupesh Baghel and T.S. Singhdeo is part of folklore, and you're saying it's making a recovery. I must say that you're a very, very, very
Navika, just 5
optimistic
seconds.
congressman. And, after your revelations on your friendship with Ghulam Nabi Azad, I think you're going to remain suspended for a while. But Anand Ranganathan is showing something. I'm going to Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. But what is it that you are displaying, Anand?
No, Navika, just because my good friend Sanjay said that I really have deep respect for Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad, but I don't appreciate these cheap political points and, these shenanigans and slander. Well, will Mr. Sanjay Jha criticize Mr. Rahul Gandhi for tweeting this? What is this if not slander? These are all 5 congressmen. And look, one of the letters of each of their names is spelling Adani. So, Sanjay, you need to counsel Rahul Gandhi first in not talking about slandering
Well said.
people.
Slander, obviously, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi seems to be reserved as a right for Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party and not for others. After what Dr. Sanjay Jha has said, how do you respond to this whole crashing down of the ship that was being made by the opposition with all these issues, Adani, EVM, Degree, Pegasus, ED, CBI, ये तो सब ध्वस्त हो गए. अब ये करेंगे क्या?